moving fast, breaking things. I think that's what you're talking about, right? That's what I faced, and that's what I met when I joined Booking 5 years ago. That was basically the formula to get speed, maybe without quality. But I was invited, and I joined the company to exactly work and drive that culture. Now, what if I tell you that there is a way, there's a testing mindset that you can put into place so you can achieve speed and quality? But I don't want to sit here today as a principal test engineer. I want to bring a personal story. My personal story as a professional triathlete. Now, before we move on, can you please raise your hand if you consider that testing is slowing you down? Oh, I only have to talk to with 3 people. Cool, 4. Okay, I thought it's gonna be much difficult. Okay, so I'm a professional triathlete, which means that I swim, I bike, and run. If at any point you forget what the triathlon is, it's written here on my t-shirt, so have a look. Now, here's a typical day in the office as a triathlete. You wake up around 3 a.m., try to have breakfast, and around 5 a.m., you tow on the line, you're about to on board on a ship. Because on that ship is going to take you at 5 a.m. through the complete darkness, 4 kilometers into the sea. And you just sit there and you think about, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Therapy probably is cheaper, but like, it gets to the point where it starts to build up, right? And you start to feel your heart in your neck. And then it's about, you have to slow down, you have to calm your nerves and think about it. I can do it. And it's go time. These are considered extreme triathlons. They are considered the toughest triathlons in the world. I traveled the world to have those experiences. That's how basically booking helps me experience the world. I travel, book flights, accommodations in different parts of the world, Patagonia, US, wherever. As a result of this, I managed to also qualify to the 3 World Championships. But I also managed to, at the same time, to have this testing can actually make me fast. Because part of the training that I'm doing, part of the work that I'm putting, 365 almost days per year, is this testing mindset, is this consistency of knowing where my body is, exercising my body, knowing what results I can achieve, how far can I get, how is this going to help me when I need to tow on the start line of an event? So, I'm here to propose you this. For me, the testing mindset is a combination of 3 things. Having a process, being able to adapt on the process, and build consistency to stick to the process. That's making me fast. And that's not just speed, that's like smart speed. It's that kind of approach that sometimes gets you qualified, but you can also build great software. So by doing that, by constantly and daily exercising my practice, having a process in mind, I know that when I toe the line of an event, I know what to do. I've practiced this many, many times, so I'm following the process. It's not about the result. I'm not chasing the result. Instead, I'm trying to execute my process at perfection, as close as possible to perfection. Because there will be things that you're not planning to. It's going to rain. You're going to drop your nutrition bottle. There are a lot of things that you cannot foresee, but sticking to the process and getting as close as possible to that gives you a confidence and gives you a psychological safety when you have to perform. So, why those three? Because in my experience in booking and working with different teams, if we have consistency and a process, but we lack the adaptability, then we get a very rigid approach. And I'm not talking about having test cases, test frameworks. It's about how do we adapt, how do we shift, how do we know we are successful today, how do we know that the changes we made an hour ago are helping us progress. I hear about architecture. How do we know that this architecture is going to set up us for success? Do we have the metrics? Do we know how to assess that? So testing is not necessarily about test cases, unit testing, but it's about getting the information that helps us move faster and move with more confidence. If you do process and if you do adaptability, but you lack the consistency, you get a bit of chaos because you end up in the situation where progress is possible, but it's unpredictable. When is my feature finalized? When can I get the feature in production? I often hear. And that's because we lack the consistency of working between teams that have different processes and not knowing exactly that if we might have a test, if we might have a feedback loop, we will know that the feature is going to be ready when those tests are going to be green. Last but not least, if you have consistency and you can adapt but you lack the process, then you're a very busy person, but you're not performing. And you're just moving around. So there's a key message here because performing is about how well something is done. We have that part of the tech guiding principle is called done right. But it's also about being productive. It's about getting things done efficiently. And that's why for ABU and Marketplace, part of the tech strategic framework, we focus on agility and efficiency. So I need your involvement here, please. How many of you think that this is true? Can you please raise your hand? If I do 3 times an activity, 1 hour each, is it the same like doing it once for 3 hours? Depends on the activity. It does. What if it's testing? What if it's testing? What if I look at a spreadsheet which says, hey, Andrei, how much testing do you need for this product? I'm like, I don't know, 3 hours. Do you prefer to do it 3 times, 1 hour each, or you want to do it once? Because that's what I see often. I see that we tend to let testing happen at the end because we don't have the consistency. We are not building towards that consistency. By repeatedly engaging in the activity, it will build us the work. It will make us practice more. Imagine if I would train instead of 5 days per week, I would crunch everything over the weekend. I will be a very busy person over the weekend and an exhausted colleague on Monday. I do experimentation too. Like, have you ever tried drinking water from a paper cup while running? Also, the race photographers have a very good eye on how to get the pictures. Like, I do experimentation. I try this during the races. If it works, it works. I will be able to do it again. But if not, this is not my nutrition strategy. This is not my hydration strategy. This is just something that I want to experience and see how it works. So just by the fact that I'm experimenting doesn't mean that I'm dropping on the testing that I do over the weekend. So this is a common misconception that I meet. Hey, we're not doing testing because we have the experimentation. Yes, but then we build on technical depth and we have problems in order to become agile and efficient. You're also saying, hey, why do we have to test? Because we go into production and we see that everything is working fine. Again, we do have that in triathlon as well. I have my gadget, which is a Garmin, which tells me, hey, you're on pace. You need to eat, you need to drink, you're ahead of time. Usually it tells me I'm behind time. But it's not replacing my training program. It's not replacing the way that I'm taking feedback on how I'm building towards my goal. If I would do this, I would probably quit on all the races that I would attend, because I wouldn't know, I wouldn't have the scope, I wouldn't have the goal in mind. Now, I know you all know this, because part of the professionals that you are, every one of us has built skill set on something. And in order to build a skill set, we stayed on top of the process. We came back to it on a daily basis, and we've built on it and we adapted. We have programs in mind that are actually addressing this. We have testing strategies. We have tech guiding principles, Dev++. We have software DSDLC. We have building and running goals. We have shift left. And we were able to see the results in bringing those teams to become fast in the way of working with testing. It's just that we didn't really tell them that it's about consistency, but we made them accountable to stay consistent. And we've seen that at least as part of Unlock. We've seen that with Order Platform. We saw that with basket teams. And it was all about the mindset. It wasn't about the tooling. We helped them discover what worked for them, developing the process that they required. There's one thing that I want to get a highlight on. Encouragement is like an invisible fuel, because part of building that consistency, we will run into blockers. We need to get back in shape and restart or reshape the direction next day. So at this point, I think it's important to have this encouragement from the community, from the team around, from the leadership, to say, you've got this. You look strong, you're heading into the right direction. I understand that this is a struggle, because that's how we build consistency. We need to pick it up, because that's how we build resiliency. So in the end, encouragement, it doesn't give me the new skills, but it unlocks the one that I already have and pushes me forward. So there are patterns that I see. There are patterns in the way that I address the triathlon strategy, and in the same way I address the testing strategies within the company. I applied the same mindset. How do we know that I'm successful today? How do I form the feedback loop that allows me to move fast? How do I iterate on a daily basis? What are the blockers for a team that stops them to iterate on a daily basis, and act on those? So it's not a milestone, it's a journey. And that's why I'm just launching this let's discuss. Let's have the conversation, and how can we enable this level of consistency? Because if I would have a magic wand, I think the consistency would be the key to achieve this in testing. So that QR code is going to take you to a Slack channel, which is the Dev++ public Slack channel, or you can DM me. But in the end, I think testing can play an important role if we stick to the practice of having a process, enabling to be adaptive, and have consistency. Thank you.